republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, Moines County Board of Supervisors, Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Are there any changes to the tentative agenda?
I have none.
We have an agenda. Meet with department heads, elected officials. Sarah Doty, Moines County Auditor.
Good morning. Tomorrow absentee voting starts in the office, so it's gonna run until June 3rd here at the office, then at your polls on the 4th. Other than that, June 8th is the end of rural cleanup, so that's still going on. Other than that, just business as usual.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Colin Gerst, IT.
Good morning. Nothing really new to report, just keep busy like always.
Rodney Bleacher, Maintenance.
Good morning, just got a lot of stuff going on, but really nothing new to report today.
Thank you, Rodney. Chris Lee, Conservation.
Good morning, Kyle. Random again.
Well,
Still.
notice that.
Still.
But, glad we had about 24 hours to work on stuff. So we are working on, we're building ponds. We got the contractor out there working on the sediment pond project there at Big Hollow. Our crew is working on the campground in between the rains. So it's like work on it for a day, wait for 4 to stop raining and dry up, and then work on it for a day. And so just grinding away as best we can when we can. So, moving along. Memorial Day weekend's coming up, not this weekend obviously, but next weekend. So we're inside that 2-week window for people to get a campsite so if they have it for Memorial Day. And so if you want a campsite at Big Hollow, I suggest, if you want a walk-up site, which is the only one's available, I suggest getting it earlier than later because I'm sure by the end of this week, we won't have campsites available in Big Hollow anymore, if it's like past years. That's it.
Thanks, Chris. Natalie Steffner, Moines County Recorder.
Good morning, nothing new to share today.
Thank you, Natalie. Angie Vaughn, Safety.
Good morning, kind of the same, keeping busy, but not anything to share, so.
Shannon Prado, Emergency Management. I'd like to apologize to Shannon. I've been mispronouncing her name for several months now.
That's okay. A lot of people do.
I rather enjoyed that. Who ratted it out? I wanna know, who told me? Anyway.
So I've been keeping busy kind of like everyone else. There is one kind of weather related thing going on right now. There's the river is, the Mississippi River is in minor flood stage right now, which is kind of surprising because just a few months ago we were saying how dry we were. But we've just gotten so much rain that the runoff is just taking over, and so the river will be cresting at about, last I checked, which was yesterday, 15.2, which means that it's minor flood stage. Here in Burlington, that doesn't have much of an impact since they've done so many mitigation efforts. But there, you could see some minor flooding kind of in the rural areas, maybe in some farm fields and stuff like that, so just be aware. It should start to go back down on Saturday. So that's all.
Thank you, Shannon. Lisa Schaefer, Des Moines County Attorney.
We're busy.
Caught me on surprise.
We're extremely busy.
I appreciate you had a few moments to spend with us this morning.
Oh, I'm gonna beeline for a juvenile hearing here in a little bit, so.
I'll speak to your brother in arms here. Des Moines County Sheriff Kevin Glendenning.
Hi, good morning. I had another meeting this morning, so sorry I was a little bit tardy. We're doing well. We're very busy as well, but managing. The jail's at 90 this morning, but 5 are getting taken to prison this morning also, so we'll move those numbers down, but it's kind of where we're hanging at. 10 out of county plus 2 juveniles now. We had another juvenile incident, so we're up to 2 juveniles that we're holding. We had our Top Gun shoot, which is an area law enforcement kind of friendly competition thing that we do. We have an overall winner and a departmental winner. Burlington PD won the departmental this year, so that takes the averages of the top 5 scores. So it's fun, give each other a hard time, and we have a little banquet afterwards, and, but they took home that overall, or the group win. Brad Siegfried, one of our lieutenants, who I'm proud to say is approaching 50 years old, and he won the overall.
Didn't he go
Wow.
overall last year too?
He did.
I was gonna say.
Good job.
He
Yeah,
just,
he's a good shot.
it's a skill, and he works on it, so it's a neat deal. But congratulations to Brad, congratulations to Burlington on that. But it was a fun event and gets us together and works on our skills together, so. But that's about all I have.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Yep.
Krista Pogelman, Public Health.
Good morning. We're just keeping busy, nothing new to report.
I see they're making more and more progress on your building out there.
They are making good progress. Yeah, I saw that they have the front canopy up, so, and some of that stone, so
I think the brick's all up now,
it.
and they'll be ready to install siding whenever it gets there, which should be shortly.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see it all kind of come together on the outside
Yeah,
of different pieces.
thanks, Krista.
Thank you.
Ryan Carter, Secondary Roads.
Good morning. Plenty of stuff going on. I would mention that Golf Course Road, we did some mainline paving Friday. On the note of rain and water and everything else, it's created headaches on that project, just like it's created headaches for everybody else that's somehow impacted by it. So, well, they were supposed to do some more concrete today, but obviously yet again on that topic, there's scattered rain, and that's not when you start putting concrete on the ground. So, yeah, so I'd say that closure has certainly lasted longer than we anticipated, but almost exclusively weather related for that. Whether it be actively raining or whether it's just you lose some time because it's too wet when you finally can work, and both of those are factors. So, but the contractor's getting ready to go. We ran into, yet again, water related, up on the kind of the top of the hill, we ran into an extremely wet area of subgrade. I mean, just water pumping all over the place, just groundwater, because we're so saturated. So, so we're actually gonna take a little bit of extra step and core that out extra and put some more rock in it to try to stabilize that for the long term. So we're adjusting to that, credit to my guys, and it's a long day though. The paving contractor, even though they battled through some issues, in fact, at one point, it was so, I'm gonna almost call it greasy, I guess. If you haven't, I know everybody's driven down that hill, but right against that inside bank of that hill, that whole area's never stopped seeping water the entire project. We have subdrain over there now, we installed as part of the project to help take some water, but I mean, it is literally, you can watch it run out of the grass line. That's how wet that hillside is. And their paver actually was spinning at one point, it couldn't get enough traction, it's got tracks on it, couldn't get enough traction to keep going, so we, that caused a problem there, but then we had some rock on site and we were able to, they had a guy with a skid loader sprinkle rock in front of that track for quite a ways, to be able to keep going up the hill without stopping. So there's an extra, one of those situations where when you have that kind of an issue, because at one point they actually were hooked onto the front corner of the paver with a chain and a piece of equipment trying to pull it, which is not the way you pave. The grade itself, ironically, in that location was pretty good. It was just that outer edge where that water's coming out. So it just, I give them credit, they kept on going. Yeah, I think they wrapped up actually putting concrete on the ground not till like 8 o'clock that night. Didn't get quite as far as they had hoped, but they did get past the subdivision drive at the top. So they're just working today on Foreman and starting to, when the weather breaks, start connecting some of the other concrete areas. And so anyway, that's coming along. Again, not quite the pace, but again, the landowners along there have been great. I mean, credit to Devin Bell and my office in general. They've communicated as much as we can communicate to them to let them know what was gonna happen, when it was gonna happen, and all that sort of stuff. But for that many people to live along there and be as patient as they have been, I think it's spectacular. So we appreciate all of their patience, and we'll just keep on going on that. So then I would mention last week, early in the week, the contractor came in and all of the county dust control did get done. I know they started last week, and I mentioned it on Tuesday, but they did get completed Tuesday evening. So they've got to come back and do a detour route sometime late May as part of that bridge closure project we're gonna do on 99. So they're gonna be back in the county to do some stuff, but they got everything done. And then we talked about the river coming up. That it'll be borderline, but that'll probably put some water over top of Sullivan Slough Road in a few places, which is nothing new. The folks that are accustomed to that, anybody that's probably knows where Sullivan Slough is accustomed to that when the river comes up. So it'll be what it is. We don't close it or anything. People make their own discretion. I think there's a sign down there we put up that mentioned high water, but that's the only road I'm aware of that the river will actually impact when it comes up. So other than that, ton of stuff going on like everybody else. But we're moving along.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
Okay. Correspondence. Either of you gentlemen have any correspondence?
I have none. I did receive a thank you from 115th and also from Skunk River Road Bridge.
Oh, okay, good deal. Okay. And the Board of Supervisors received, as a group, received a little correspondence. We received a nice letter from somebody that had, we served on a jury sometime in the last few weeks, I guess, with some thoughts on courthouse security. And there is this courthouse security committee that meets annually, and we've had work sessions and adopts changes each year. And it's not publicly discussed, so I guess I didn't want somebody to think they hadn't sent the letter, but that's for obvious reason, courthouse security isn't a public topic. And we received a letter. Good morning, gentlemen. I am reaching out as Midwest Realty Group currently has the Sundown Apartments under contract located on Memorial Park Road. We are looking to apply for workforce housing tax credits under the dilapidated housing status. This property is only 40% occupied and has a lot of units in need of repairs before they are able to be occupied. This property has a total of 56 units and has the potential to provide a lot of affordable rental units that our area desperately needs. All of these units will be market rate. We have plans to invest an additional $1.4 million into the property to bring the condition back to a nice apartment community. Part of the application process is we need to gain support from local government that the property site sits in. Attached is a copy of the resolution that has been utilized by Burlington to support a past project. These applications are due the 1st of June. We would love to have your support and a resolution from the Board of Supervisors supporting our efforts. Part of that support is a required minimum match of funds per unit of $1,000. Math on that would be $56,000. But anyway, this can be in the form of tax abatement or TIF based on the improvements. Below is a link to the program to help familiarize yourself. We have successfully done 2 projects under this program in West Burlington. One we were awarded $480,000, and the other project we are finishing next to Target, we received $1 million. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. I appreciate your consideration and hope to have your support. Thanks, Ryan Nagrocki, President, Midwest Realty Group. This isn't on the agenda, and it would be an action item, so if it's okay with you guys, I will ask the auditor that you can, if that's okay with you, and she can email or contact Mr. Nagrocki if he wants to come and make a presentation to the board. He is more than welcome, and we'll discuss it at that time.
Okay.
That's all I had for correspondence. We will proceed to discussion and vote. We have a resolution 2024-28 setting the time and date of fiscal 24 budget amendment hearing. Be it resolved, the Board of Supervisors hereby fixes the time and place for a public hearing on the fiscal year 24 budget amendment for Tuesday, May 28, 2024 at 9 a.m. in the boardroom at the Des Moines County Courthouse. The Des Moines County Budget Director is hereby directed to publish the notice and estimated summary as required by law. Approved this 14th day of May, 2024.
approve resolution 2024-028.
Second.
Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes.
I think we need a little country music in here during this time when we're not talking. Let's see if you can get that set up for us.
You want live or
Well,
like
depending on
Kevin
who
with
you
the
get.
guitars?
Not in my skill set.
I don't like he's
Like a
willing to
side
sing
check
or
bar.
something.
We need to go a little faster to keep you guys out of trouble. Focused on the task at hand. We have payroll reimbursement claims of $1,348.73.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yeah.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We have a real estate purchase agreement with the city of Burlington. This is Burlington has a project, the agency street improvements, I believe they call it, and they need a little corner of the property at agency and Curran as the public health property, and so we've agreed to sell them that for $1. It'll be was directed toward the treasurer's office, I don't know.
Probably.
Anyway, so, this is a necessary document that needs to be signed to, so that they can go ahead with their project.
I move to approve the purchase agreement.
Second?
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We have personnel actions. We have one for conservation. Grant Swanson, conservation intern, a new hire, at the rate of $15.50 an hour.
Move to approve?
Second.
Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. And we have a personnel action for emergency management. Shannon Cotto, a 6-month step increase. The previous rate was $57,460. The new rate is $61,051.25.
I approve Prados.
Second that?
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. And we have the Sheriff's Monthly Report of Fees Collected for April 2024. This report will be on file at the Auditor's Office and available for public review at your convenience. We have minutes of the regular meeting of May 7th, 2024.
Move to approve?
Second.
Sarah?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Or any other business?
I have none.
Future agenda items. Committee reports.
I had a trust fund, and the only thing coming at Jefferson County is probably going to not do their nuisance ordinance with Russ anymore. They've been having a lot of trouble with it, and it's kind of overloaded the county attorney's office and misdemeanor stuff, so we're gonna reconsider and see what happens. We won't know for sure until first of July.
I think some of those we discussed when we discussed having one of those here.
They're having the same problems, but we didn't want.
Yeah.
I had Mississippi Valley Workforce Development Board, the full board meeting. We were just addressing our 13% funding cut, which comes about $407,000. Seeing how we're gonna maneuver around that. We elected new board members, and we had to rewrite some paperwork with Equus, who's helping us to be the one-stop shop out at the Workforce Development Board, so that's about it.
So, Public Health Building had their 2-week construction meeting, and we mentioned earlier that I think brickwork finished yesterday, I saw that they've got most of the subverts up awaiting installation of siding. I think it's supposed to be delivered shortly, and they continue to, they're working on the drywall inside, so they appear to be making good progress, and we're still looking at early fall to move in. The Mental Health Agency of Southeast Iowa, the governing board met, and we approved contracts. We discussed, we're waiting to see some of the details of recent legislation. The rules come after the legislation, so that's where you see the rubber meets the road. And hopeful that 988 number, the suicide awareness, is there's some problems with that. Is that if you would dial 988, they would connect you to that area code where your phone's from. Well, I'm sure there's people in this room that have area codes in different location. We think the FCC's just on the verge of putting those calls to be geolocated. So if they come from this area, they will get routed to the right operators. The operators try to work around that. This will be great if we can get that done. And I attended the CIT meeting, Crisis Intervention Team meeting, and they're going to be offering crisis intervention training in September for law enforcement, mental health professionals, mental health advocates, people living with mental illness and their families, and other community partners in September, from September 10th to 12th. And that's all I've got. Public input. If anyone has questions or comments they'd like to make, they can email the Board of Supervisors at board@dmcounty.com. That's BOARD@dmcounty.com. Or you can call 319-753-8203, extension 4. That's 319-753-8203, extension 4. We will give you a couple minutes to initiate that email or that call. And in the meantime, is there anybody in the room that has any comments they'd like to make? If you would address yourself for the record, just give us your name.
Sure. I'm Doug Beckman, 14903 North Prairie Grove Road, Burlington. An ongoing problem that's been going on in the county, and it concerns the Conservation Department. I've got pictures I could pass around. I'd like to explain a few. Well, I guess, how would I start this? Maybe start here and go around?
Talk to the supervisors.
Should I approach?
Sure.
Take some explanation on some of these. There's a picture of the man when he's doing that, and I took a picture of him, but this here is my field. Now, I talked with Jeff Chase, he said the county has nothing to do with this. Those are dying soybeans. There's two pictures there. That's on 150th Avenue and 145th Avenue north of that intersection.
Was it 150th and what?
150th and 145th intersection. This would be north of there. Here's a picture of standing on the county road looking towards my field. And this would be another picture. You can see the dying soybeans, but I estimate 600 bushel of soybean loss on this. I feel it's malice. I've got Iowa Department of Ag and Land Stewardship. These are the past 3 years. These are all guilty. They went out and investigated my fields, but the same man has been doing this for 3 years.
From the Iowa, what was it you said, or is this?
Iowa Department of Agriculture and Land Stewardship.
Okay, thank you.
My apprehension is, I see he's got his sprayer back on his side-by-side. I was wondering, has the Conservation Department given him permission again this year to spray?
And I apologize, back up. So, the first picture was of a gentleman on a four-wheeler?
Yes.
Yeah, is that the individual you're talking about? Looks like he's got
It
a
is.
sprayer on the back? Okay, and that's the problem with,
Yes.
you believe for the with the soybeans?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. Go ahead.
I talked with Mr. Wasson why he was doing this, and he told me Chris Lee told him, authorized him to do it. And I was wondering, do you have insurance for something like this? It's about $7,200 damage on that particular field.
One question comes instantly to mind. You said you thought maybe it was malice. Have you spoken to the sheriff?
We've talked.
Malice would be intentional, at least in my.
Sure.
It's
Oh, I have a
something
big,
intentional.
I have a big bunch of information to tell the legal department. Big bunch. Yes, it's malice.
To be fair, we'd be glad to meet with you, hear what you have to say.
Sure.
To be fair to all involved, this has been an ongoing situation, going years back, over property disputes, over use of the trail. A number of situations between Mr. Beckman and Mr. Wasson. This isn't new, but it is specific between you and him. All that said, we would be glad to sit down and look at it. I'm sure the county attorney's office would be glad to take a look at it as well, but if you have an incident to report where you feel like something's been done intentional, we'll be glad to speak with you about it.
Is there any insurance for something like this, or who do I contact?
The county has insurance. The county's insured. I don't know what's covered in anything like that. I have no idea about coverage. Can I assume, or maybe not, that you've spoken to the conservation director or conservation board about this?
We went to when I say we, my wife and I, back last May of '23, went to a conservation meeting, and we discussed this matter about Wayne Wasson driving on the trail.
Driving on the trail, but you never said anything about spray.
Did
This is
you,
the first
did
I've
you
heard of
authorize the spray?
It's a spot spray, invasive
You
species
did,
on the trail
you did
itself.
authorize it?
On the trail itself, yeah.
I'm not sure that this would be the venue to litigate this, but it sounds to me that if you approach ask the sheriff and discuss that with him, and if it needs to attention of the county attorney's office, I'm sure that will be involved. But I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. But yes, we do have insurance, but as far as the coverage on something like that, I have no idea. And typically, malice is not covered for insurance. If you do something intentional, that's on you. If a spark blows from my yard and burns your house down, your insurance we'll cover it. Now, it might come back on me, but if I go over and set fire to it, my insurance is gonna be a no-go. Okay, well, Mr. Beckman, thank you for, bringing this to us, and I'm gonna hope and assume that you'll reach out to the sheriff's department.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me be here.
No problem. Well, it's a public meeting, you're always welcome.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I have
Did
a
you-
question.
Oh,
I
Tracy.
have a question about your budget amendment. Do you have any figures that show what you're amending?
It will, I believe it went to the papers yesterday,
Okay.
because it has to be published before we can have the,
Right.
and there are figures, because it would have gone to the paper. I do not have it with me.
I'm sure I can find that information out.
Oh, yeah, if you speak to Cheryl, she would have that, but I'm 90% sure that it went up. I'm almost positive it was yesterday, went out to the newspapers, so it would be published in time for the,
Sure.
okay,
All right, thanks.
thank you. There's no further comments. With an aye, we're adjourned.
Aye.
We're adjourned.